Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Learn with Luke, where we're going to walk through Xometry's Virtual Quality Control Process, or VQC. I'm Luke, Xometry's Community and Marketplace Engagement Lead, and today I'm joined by Kacey Bennett. Kacey, do you want to kind of introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. If you haven't met me already in another webinar or in chat support or any other avenue, I'm Kacey Bennett, and I'm on our partner management team here at Xometry. Yeah, you may have met me on a premium webinar or just in community overall. So that's me.
Great. Kacey's actually going to walk us through a little bit of the basics of the VQC process today, and then she's going to give us some tips and tricks too. So to start this out, I'm actually going to walk us through the community to see how to get to the VQC articles. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. So when you are in the community, what you will do is you will scroll down to Partner Network, scroll down to VQC, and then this is where you can actually see all of the articles. So here you can find an introduction to VQC, standard inspection versus report, standard inspection VQC, explanation and instructions, report VQC explained down here, and then a VQC checklist, and then all of our FAQs. So that's kind of enough for me, and I'll stop sharing. So Kacey, you're going to answer some questions. I hope you're excited.
I'm excited.
First, can you give us a brief little introduction to somebody who's new to VQC and kind of like walk them through that and explain that process to them?
Yeah, absolutely. So a VQC, or virtual quality control, as Luke said earlier, it's a type of remote inspection that some partners are required to do with our Xometry quality inspectors. And a VQC is not necessarily required for every job. You'll be able to tell once you accept the job in the kind of status updates you provide on your current work for the job. It'll say request a VQC, and you'll know that that's required. Within VQC, we also have two different types, which we'll kind of cover in this, and that's the standard and the report VQC.
That was great. You led right into my next question. Can you kind of give everybody who's listening a brief little differences between standard and report VQC?
Yeah, absolutely. So a report VQC will have a bubbled print and a formal or first article inspection form to fill out. So that's basically just an additional kind of elevated inspection form. And the quality team will provide these documents for you, and they'll be available for download in the partner portal. Again, on that current work, the same place where you'll be able to see whether or not a VQC is required. Okay. And then a standard inspection will only have a basic inspection report and really only cover a handful of dimensions. So it's a little bit less involved, but that's primarily required when you're starting out with us, or if your quality score is below a certain threshold. So just keep an eye on that in your job board, and that's basically the difference.
Awesome. So then, being a part of the partner team, what are you guys specifically looking for when it comes to inspection?
Sure. So when we're looking and completing a VQC for our partners, we are looking at the inspection reports themselves. So again, if it's a report VQC, we're reviewing your bubbled print, your formal or your first article inspection reports. We really are focusing on those reports. Those pictures of the parts, we encourage you to take closer pictures of any areas that might be of concern or might matter to us. We'll look at part markings, any critical features, the finish, things like that. So make sure that you're also taking good pictures with good contrast so that we can tell the difference. And then we'll also be looking at things like tagging, the threads, if there's any inserts, again, some of those critical features on the parts. And then additional documentation, such as certifications or certificates of conformance, or any other kind of traceability documentation that might be required for the job.
Yeah, okay, that's great. So if you were a new partner in the Xometry Partner Network, what would you give as a piece of advice to pay the closest of attention to?
Sure. Yeah. So as you're getting started, I would just pay close attention to what's required for your specific inspection. So again, is it a report inspection? Is it a standard inspection? What do you need? The report inspections require more time to complete, and we also require that you use calibrated tools. So if you do not have the manpower or even the equipment to measure the parts as we expect, don't accept the job as it requires with the report. Additionally, if there's any thread callouts, we do require that they're checked with thread gauges. So if you don't have that equipment, please don't accept them. We're willing to work with you on, in certain situations, extenuating circumstances, but really just try and focus on accepting jobs that you can inspect to the full requirement.
Yeah, so by accepting jobs that you can do, you're making both person's job a little bit easier. I like
exactly. That. Saving you time, saving us time, giving the customer the part that they want.
Exactly. Yeah. So lastly, do you have any tips and tricks for community members who are watching today?
Sure. So some things that we sometimes see is just watch your paperwork, excuse me. So make sure you have the correct paperwork uploaded for that job. Again, it saves a lot of time for you and us if the correct certifications are uploaded or any other documentation as it's required. That's sometimes such a pain point just because it's something so small yet so critical. So it's easy to miss. So pay attention to that. And then if you do have any problems or questions, we do encourage you to ask before you complete when you actually request a VQC, just so that we can kind of get that started up front, save on time, make sure that you're shipping that part on time and getting issues resolved quickly. And then just kind of with that, give yourself and us plenty of time to complete the VQC. These do take time to look over. There's lots to look over. We look over every part photo, all of your documentation, your inspection reports, and it could cause a part to miss shipping cutoff if you're requesting your VQC an hour before your job is due to ship. So we actually recommend that you complete your VQC by noon on the day that it's due to receive same-day inspection.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Well, Kacey, thank you for chatting with us today and kind of giving us some tips and pointers. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Have me anytime. Love you.
Well, thanks everybody for watching, and join us next week as we dive into some more fun stuff with Learn with Luke. Bye.